I'm Mark Ronson, I'm here at Cannes Lion. I don't know if it's increasingly, I feel like ever since I can remember, the commercials always have had sort of music in them, but I think, the reason that where I'm pretty hesitant to get involved with anything, the reason I got involved with this Hyundai project specifically is because there wasn't a directive, it was just an opportunity to go make a piece of music, and even in a way that I wouldn't have been able to, if I was working on my own record. They're like, you can go to New Orleans, put together your dream team of collaborators, and here's the challenge, you have to make a song in a day in this genre, but for the most part it was just something that I didn't really have to think too long about, I came up as being a DJ, so as a DJ you're always this constant amalgamation of music and all these different influences. So that was never anything that I thought I never had this thing in my mind like, okay, when I make my music it has to be very much my own, because I came up playing in bands but also DJing other people's music. I think the way that, listen, everyone has their own creative path and process. The way I filter in a piece of music and spit it back out is always going to be way different than what anyone else would do. So I think it's just, we all have it in us to take something and make it our own. It's just how well you do it. I think, of course, I'd be lying if I said it's not amazing to be awarded or get validation for what you do, but usually that stuff can happen so far down the line from when you're creating. If you're starting on a record, an album could take a year and a half to make, and then by the time it comes out, it's a year later, and then the award you get could be a year after that. So it's very dangerous to be thinking about that while you're creating the art, because then you're gonna edit and you're gonna kind of obstruct the creative process. If you're thinking about things like how well this is going to do, is it going to be awarded work, I try not to think about those things, because they kind of violate like the very pure creative process, which is what usually makes things good. But it is very nice when you're recognized for your work. The reason that I enjoy working with new artists, and in some ways have had some of my most successful work and I guess exciting work with them, is because when you have a new artist, you're going with them on this journey where they're like finding their sound and you're helping them do that. And I think that sometimes when I'm working with artists that are already huge and established, there's this pressure that you're aware of, okay, this has to be big, that's one of those things I was talking about that obstruct the creative process. So I think personally I work better with people that are sometimes not necessarily established already.